Hello and welcome to the next tutorial. Today we'll be making, that's right, Kenny from South Park, and it actually looks like somebody tried to take off his head. But it's just a printing error. Something shifted in the very end of the print and that's what it looks like. Yeah, pretty weird, but so appropriate. If you don't know anything about this particular character, he is always getting hurt or almost killed, and that's his whole thing in the show. Now, mind you, that is all I know about this character because I've only seen like one, maybe 1.5 shows. Let's get started. All right, so we're going to start off working our way down, start from the bottom, and work our way up. So let's go ahead and start with this black thing, which I kept seeing in all the drawings that I would see, and I'm not sure what it is, but it's there. So let's go ahead and get started with the cylinder. We're going to drop it down right there. We're going to maximize the sides because that's what we do. The dimensions are going to be 20 by 15 and then 0.5. 0.5 is correct. I'm going to change that to black and we are on our way. Look at that. We got one down. The next thing right here is going to be the cylinder. This is his body. And that, let's just drag one over here from the shape library. Again, we're going to maximize the sides. And the dimensions here are going to be 18, and 12, and 4. Now we're just going to align these two things right here. I'm going to click the letter L. There it is. And click those two. We're good to go. Let me just move this over here a little bit closer. The next part is going to be this, I guess, the main jacket, and it's going to be a paraboloid. So let's go ahead and move this over here, and let's just put it right there. It's already maximized in steps, and sure, we have these weird looking things, but hey, what can you do? The dimensions for the paraboloid are going to be 18 by 17 and 20, which it should already be. I'm going to change the color to orange. And now you can do two things. You can move this up to 4, or you can use the work plane tool, put it on top of the cylinder there, and then click the letter D. Don't have to do that this time. I'm going to just align, click the letter L, click in the front, click on the side, and we're good to go. All right, we're all good here. And now let's start with the arms. So we're going to do the bent pipe for the arms. Actually, no, we're going to start with the gloves. Sorry. And the reason I want to start with the gloves because I found something on Tinkercad, and I hope you have it. You may not. My bad if you don't. So here it is. It's called the high-res sphere. So I'm going to go here. Usually you just drag a sphere, right there and you're good. But here, I want to see if you guys can find this. High-res sphere. Enter. Now, if you can't remember all that, just put in the word sphere and it should show up anyways. And it's this yellow one right here. Now, why I like this is because, check this out. I'm going to just put it right there. You see all this? You can't, this is a normal sphere right here. Let's zoom in. And you got a lot of squares. Here you're getting some triangles and it's starting to look a little bit more curved, but that's not all. You can maximize this to 5 and look how good it looks. Wow, look at the difference, right? All right, so we're going to make this a glove. And for the rest of the spheres, you can just keep on using this one right here. You might want to put a little star next to it so it shows up in your favorites. Okay, so this sphere is going to be, I'm going to hit Shift and move it down 5 by 5 by 5. Now, I know I'm not going to be that precise. You might be, but I'm not going to be. I'm just click the letter 5 or the number 5. And there it is. I'm going to change that to brown. And not the brown I'm looking for there. I'm going to put this over here. Now, when I'm getting closer to the end of my design, I may change this a little bit just to make it look a little bit more like the character. But for right now, I'm just going to put it here. What I want is the bottom of this to reach the bottom of that. So I'm going to move it up a little bit more. And the bottoms are pretty close. The other thing I want is for this to be, I want it to be like it's printing and printing a higher and higher one so that it doesn't Well, it's going to need supports, you guys. Okay, it's going to need supports. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this one, Control D, and I'm going to shrink it to 2. Let me get a better angle. There you go. And I'm just now at this point going to click the number 2, enter, and I'm going to move it forward with the arrow keys because I can't obviously click inside of there. This is going to be where the thumb goes. I'm going to drag this up. And again, you just want to make it look natural, normal. And that looks like it's sticking out way too far. That's better. Looks a little bit more like a glove. I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to click the letter D, and then it made a smaller one. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to do it again. Select, hit Shift, and select that one. Now the letter D. It should make an exact copy. Now I'm going to click the letter M for the mirror tool. Since I wanted to go that way, I clicked on the arrow that goes that way. I'm going to hold the Shift button down and the arrow to the left on the keyboard. Makes the move a little bit easier. All right, so there we go. Those are the gloves. Now, these thumbs over here are a little bit higher. That's fine. Again, like I said, when you're done, you want to look at it and be like, yeah, I think I can move this here or there. It's up to you. All right, so, whoa, look at all these things over here. The next thing we need is the bent pipe, which is in the shape generator section. This is it right here, the extrusion. Oh, wait. What did I want? The bent pipe. Sorry, I was so focused on something else. Okay, so the bent pipe. Let's change the parameters, the parameter box settings. So let's go to wall thickness. Everything else is going to stay the same except for these two things. So it's going to be 10 here. And the bend angle is going to be 15. There you go. Now, please watch carefully. I know. I'm going to rotate it this way, to the right, clockwise, 90. Why am I saying this? Because one time when I was practicing this, I didn't rotate it to the right. I rotated it to the left, and guess what happened? It did not come out the way I thought it was going to, just for that one little mistake. I don't even think it's a mistake. Anyways, this one down here, we're going to rotate 180. We could have also used the mirror tool, just so you know. And this one up here, we're going to go 25 degrees. All right. Now for the actual measurements. Now make sure you do the measurements after you change this because it will give you a different result if you don't pay attention. So let's go ahead and change this to 7.5. 7.5. Whoa. And this one at 3.75. And the top one to 9.3. 9.3. All right, we have it pretty much there. Let's go ahead and change the color to orange. And let's move it over here, move it there. Straight down. And I'm just going to zoom in here and move it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now don't worry about the top because that's going to change. I don't know. I think I'm going to want it a little bit more like this. I hate when I do that. Control, I'm just moving it down. That's all I'm doing. So I think that looks good. I'm going to duplicate this, Control D, and then I'm going to hit the mirror tool with the letter M, and I want it to go in that direction. Now I'm going to hit and hold the Shift button, and that looks like it's fine right there. Okay. Now, everyone's favorite part. No, the center of the jacket. So we're going to use a cube for that one. I'm just going to drag it here. Now this one is going to be a little bit weird. Why is that? Because it's going to be super thin. Now look over here. That's what we're making right there. So 0.5 at the front. And then we want this to be 9. And I believe this one up here is going to be, where am I actually? Oh, there it is. I'm going to change that to 7.3. I was looking at another one. I have a bunch of notes that I'm looking at. And I just looked at another one that's like way ahead in this tutorial. Let's change this to brown. Dark brown right there. Okay, now we want to center this. So let's just group these right here. I'm going to click the letter L and centered. Good. Now, I'm a little nervous about this one because I tried to do this earlier today and I think it worked, but you want 14 degrees. You want it to go back 14 degrees. And then you want to move it up so that it's looks like, you know, the front of a jacket. So I'm going to move that. That's not bad. But you see how it's sticking down? Not all the way down, so I'll move it all just slightly. All right, that looks, whoa, that's the part I didn't like. Move this up a little bit. Oh, I hate that when I do that. Oh, that's for my printing. Let's go right there. I think I'll just leave it there for right now. I mean, if you wanted to go all the way down, you can. And just, what I would do is I would use one of these tools and then, whoa, right there. Let's move back a little bit. And I would shrink it to make sure it only cuts off that bottom part and then group these two. But that's for you. If you want to do that, that's fine. Okay, so now if we want to, we can use the high res sphere. I'm just going to duplicate this one because I don't want to look for it. And the parameters for this one are going to be, ooh, that's going to be easy. 20 by 20 by 20. So essentially the way it comes out, that's how you want it. Now we're going to make this orange because that's how his hoodie looks. Great. Look at the clarity on that one. I love it. It's so smooth. All right, let's just move it up here, and that looks pretty cool. I like the way that looks. And we might want to center it, though. I'm going to click the letter L. There, and there, and I'm going to undo this because I don't want this to move. So this, let's just select this and the sphere. I'm going to click the letter L, and I'm going to click on the paraboloid. Now it's not going to move. This sphere is going to move. That's what I want. Let's click over here on the side, right there. All right, we're good. I'm going to click up, move it how many degrees or how many. Now we don't want the arms to show that's way too high. So we're going to move it up. Looks like 6.5. Again, we can adjust this later if we want to. So that's basically the you know, the hoodie. We're going to bring in another cylinder. And then we're going to rotate it 90. There it is. Now, we want this cylinder to be 10 by 10 by 10. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we're going to go to the parameter box over here, and we're going to change the settings to 64 sides. Obviously, we're going to max this because we want it to be as smooth as possible. The bevel is going to be 2.5. And the segments are going to be 10. 10. All right, so we have that. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to introduce a brown sphere. So let's just, I'm going to copy this one, Control D. And we're going to make this 10 by 10 by 10. So let's do that, 10 by 10. And the last one, 10. I'm going to select both of them, click the letter L, and there. And I don't like the way that looks. Let's move that there. Oh, I clicked the wrong ones. Let's just undo that. Let me show you again. I'm going to select both of them, click the letter L. That one's already aligned. I want it to be aligned here. That's what I wanted. If I click that, that'll be here. If I click that, that'll be there. So I think we're good here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that. Actually, I made a mistake. This right here. So you see how this is the front, right? And it's 10 over here, but this one I actually wanted it to be 5. There you go. I wanted it to be a little bit flat. So I'm going to just move this with the arrow key over here. And I just want a little bit to be sticking out. Yeah, that's about right. So now we're going to use the extrusion tool. You go to the shapes library, go down to shape generators. The exclusion tool will be right here. See how it says extrusion? Now we're going to make this look, this right here look like a football. How? Like this and like this. We're going to bring this down a little bit and a little bit here. Football, right? Okay, we're going to make it a hole. Let's rotate this 90 this way. And then 90 this way. Now we're going to change the dimensions of the sizes. The extrusion tool across is going to be 5.5. And back, we're going to make that 10. And the height is going to be 8. All right, so now we want this to be in the center of all these, but not in all directions. So I'm going to select all of them, click the letter L, and I want it to be here. And the center, look at what I'm doing here, right there. That's what I want. All right, so now I want this part here, the front, I want it to go all the way through. I'm going to hit Shift. Did it go all the way through? No. So now I'm going to make that part bigger. So let's make that 15. All right. That's what I want. Okay, so we're good here, right? This is going to be the hood. Not a problem, but there kind of is a problem because we cannot connect it just yet. Now, how high did I move it? I don't know. I think you need to look at this and be like, how high is this going to go? And how far in? I don't know. Look at this one. Again, this is your Kenny. It kind of looks weird that way, so let's just move him back a little bit. I want to hit the arrow key and just move him back. And that looks fine. Okay. Now for let's do this part right here. The brown hoodie cords, which when I printed, I'm not sure if you noticed it, but when I printed it, that part fell off. I don't know why. But we're going to start with the Taurus. Here we go. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mess with the parameter box settings. So let's do that first. Okay. And what do we want? Well, we want a radius of 7.5. It's already there. A tube of 0.1. Enter. Makes it super skinny. We're going to maximize the sides. And then this, yep, these are going to be the same. Now I'm going to rotate this 90. Now, of all the things I did, I believe this one was the second hardest thing I had to do. All right, now we're going to change the dimensions. For this one, it's going to be 13.83, and then 0.8. That's how thick it's going to be, 0.8. All right, that's not bad. And then 11.45, 11.45. All right, let's change that to brown. Okay. Now, this one's kind of hard to grab because it is so thin. Oh my goodness, I have a feeling this looks not brown. Why didn't you guys tell me anything? Mr. Amparo, that's not brown. You chose another color. You should probably, it'd be funny if you raised your hand and said that, Mr. Amparo, that's not brown. You chose another color. All right. I'm going to, where is that? Do you guys see the black arrow? I don't see the black arrow. Do you see? Oh, right there. Okay. Now, in the pictures that I saw, it kind of disappears back here, but it stays visible here. Now, I want to look at the sides to make sure you can actually, it's actually touching, and is it? It's not. So I'm going to use the arrow key. Okay, touching and kind of not touching. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rotate this, because if I move it back anymore, this is going to disappear. I know the top part has to disappear because that's the design. So now it's mostly touching, but I think there's a little bit of space. Yeah, you guys can see that down here. But I have it exactly where I want, because now I'm going to hit the arrow key backwards. And it looks like it's going forward. Weird. All right, I'm going to use the other one. Ah, this is not showing. I think I'm going to rotate it just a little bit more. And then move it forward a little bit. There. And that mostly touching. I think we're going to call that good enough. Now there's some strings down here. We're going to use this part right here. Scribble tool, which I have never used in a tutorial as far as I know. I'm just going to draw some lines here. And we're done with that. Again, not going to be perfect, but it's going to be good enough for Kenny. Wrong brown again, people. You guys need to get on the ball with that one because you guys are slipping. I'm going to put that right there. Obviously, it's a little too big. I'm going to hit Shift and drag it. I'm going to move it up again. Shift, drag it. I'm going to go up. I'm going to use the arrow key for more control, and then forward. And then, where is it over here? Oh, it's all the way under here. Okay, so I'm going to put it under this. It looks like a snout. like a pig's snout. That's what that looks like up there. I'm going to move this up. I'm going to rotate it, and I can't rotate it at that angle. Now, in case you didn't hear last time, I said you're going to need supports. You're going to need supports. Trust me on this one. All right. All right. Not bad. Now for the head. Let's go ahead and grab a sphere. I'm going to duplicate this one, Control D, move it over here. And for the head, it's going to be 12. I'm going to hit Shift. It's going to be 12 by 12 by 12. So now I have the 12 by 12 by 12. Let's change it to Kenny's color. I believe it's this one. Yeah, that's fine. And now, yeah, let's do this. So I'm going to grab this part. Now this one's going to be selected. I'm going to hit Shift. Leave that there. Should I? No, I'm going to grab this too. All right, so we have this part. I'm going to group them. Okay, so what I'm doing essentially is making a hole right there where you're going to see his eyes. You're going to see that part right there. Okay, now I'm going to, make it so it looks cool like this. I'm going to put this in here. Now you got to put the head in there because the eyes are a big deal. But I can't really see everything, so I'm going to make that transparent. I want to be able to see this. So I'm going to duplicate this, Control D. All right, yeah, now there's two. I'm going to shrink this sphere to 4 by 4 by 4. And there it is. I'm going to make it white. I'm going to duplicate this, and this one should be 1 by 1 by 1. So 1. We need to zoom in here because that is way too small. Okay, good. Change that to black. And let's go ahead and move that forward. It's probably not even close. Look at that. I called it. All right, that's not bad. I'm going to move it down by clicking here. Then move it forward a little bit. Okay. Whew, this is the moment of truth right here. Okay, so the next step is to subscribe to my videos. Thank you, because that is going to help me retire early with the billions that I'm making with this one tutorial. All right, so that's part of his face. By the way, I was lying about the billions. It's just a few million here and there. Okay, so there's part. I'm going to duplicate, click the letter M. I'm going to hit Shift. And I don't remember there's separation in his eyes over here. Oh, there is a little bit. I'm going to be okay with that over here. And I'm going to leave them alone. I'm going to click the letter T, and there we have it. Now, this is the point where you guys would say, you know what? I don't really think it looks like Kenny. I'm going to change this. I'm going to change that because that's what you're supposed to do. Now, if you thought this one was hard, you might want to try some more basics in my playlist, my basic playlist, or go to my advanced playlist if you want to try something that is going to challenge you and make you a better designer. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Really appreciate that you're here to watch my videos. Have a great day.